This is the Helpful Lockpicker here, and welcome back to my lockpicking homeschool series. The video I have for you today is going over how to rapidly enter a lock. In life, you never know when you're going to be put in a situation where you're going to need to get a lock open very quickly. The one thing you do know is that you're going to want to be able to get it open with the least resistance and the least amount of time. You may not have time to play around with single pin picking, and you will quickly learn that rakes can be your best friend. Many common locks that you can find today come with minimal security pins. They may come with all standards or just a couple spools, and many of these locks can be opened very quickly using some of the less skilled techniques. When I first encounter a lock, the first thing I'm going to do is take my tension wrench and verify that the plug is not seized. I just want to see that I can wiggle it back and forth just a little bit. After I can see that the plug does move, I'm going to take my lockpick and then put it in the back of the lock. I'm going to count the pins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And while I'm doing that, I'm feeling to make sure that each pin is not seized up and that they are freely moving. If I do have on me some lubricant, I will utilize that. What I like to use is my Lock Houdini, and it works pretty well. So I'm just going to give a little squirt here. And then I can take one of my rakes and just kind of rake in the lube. And that will help loosen up anything in the lock to make sure that the key pins and driver pins are going to move smoothly. And then next we're going to go over how to get this lock open. The first thing I notice on this lock is that it looks like a deadbolt. These deadbolt style locks always open up away from the door frame. So if this lock is installed on the left side of the door, we're going to need to pick it open clockwise to get it open. So let's do that. My first attempt is always going to be raking it. While I'm raking it, I'm going to be able to feel how well the pins are setting and if there's any security pins. I'm going to do light bottom of the keyway tension and just rake with my Bogota style rake, and we'll see how long it takes to get it open. This is a quick set style lock, and these are probably one of the most common residential locks you can find. But let's just pretend that we open this up in the incorrect direction, and now we need to get the lock open the other way. We could either relock it, or we could use a little trick. I'm going to try to resolve the issue using my plug spinner. This plug spinner here is spring-loaded, and it will turn the plug so quickly that it will cross the shear line here where the Bible is, and it will not relock. So I just insert it here, and it's going to turn it counterclockwise very quickly. And now you can see we're open on the opposite side, and we'd be able to get this lock open. Now let's try a couple other techniques to get these locks open very quickly. So we saw this lock respond well to the Bogota style rake here. I'm going to just try to get this lock open quickly and give each technique about 10 seconds. I'm going to start off by trying to bump it. And if we can't get the technique to work, we're going to move on to the next one. Alright, we bumped this lock open. Now that we got this lock open very quickly with the Bogota style rake and the bump key, let's see what it takes to get it open with a couple other methods. I'm going to give them about 10 seconds each. I'm going to start off with the snake rake here, see if we have any success with it. So far, not too much success. We're going to now try the city rake or the L rake. And just remember that the goal is just to get this lock open. It's not to do it in any particular way. We just want to get the lock open. Now that that's not working, I'm going to try quickly bitch picking. Okay, we just got it open by bitch picking. We were able to get this lock open very quickly with the Bogota style rake, by lock bumping and by bitch picking. This lock didn't really like the snake rake or the city rake. But let's see how long it takes us to get this open by single pin picking, and we can compare the various methods that we had that were a success. I'm going to do top of the keyway tension and start off with pin 1. Big click on 1. Big click on 2. So 1 and 2 feel pretty good. 3. Feels kind of loose. 4. Feels kind of loose. 5 feels like it's binding. Got a little click on 5. Let me go back to the beginning though. 1 feels good, 2 feels good, 3. 4 opened us up. Okay, so that didn't take us too long to get open by single pin picking. But when you are doing rapid entry, you want to open up the lock as quickly as you can and do the various methods that will get it open as fast as possible, and single pin picking is not always the focus. When you're trying to open a lock by rapid entry, using a rake is often the biggest focus. Rakes work really well on locks in the real world. Locks that you can find in the real world setting are often pretty weathered, don't want to pick very easily, and don't usually contain too many security pins. Raking can work very quickly on these locks and really get them open fast. I'm going to do light bottom of the keyway tension and just rake with my Bogota style rake, and we'll see how long it takes to get it open. This is a quick set style lock. Another technique is using a bump key that works very well also. And if we can't get the technique to work, we're going to move on to the next one. Alright, we bumped this lock open. Now that that's not working, I'm going to try quickly bitch picking. Okay, we just got it open by bitch picking. Big click on 1. Big click on 2. So 1 and 2 feel pretty good. Three feels kind of loose. 4 feels kind of loose. 5 feels like it's binding. Got a little click on 5. Let me go back to the beginning though. 1 feels good, 2 feels good, 3. 4 opened us up. Okay. However, these techniques can easily be thwarted by the addition of security pins. Probably one of the top level low security locks is an American Lock 1100 series. This lock contains serrated key pins, serrated driver pins, and serrated spools, and is one of the first milestones people try to achieve when they're learning to open up locks. This lock requires a very light touch, and I'll try to get it open for you now. I'm going to use top of the keyway tension in 50 thousandths and a gem in 18 thousandths. When you're faced with a lock with a lot of security pins, single pin picking quickly becomes the focus. Sometimes you can rake them to a false set and finish off with single pin picking, but I found that just single pin picking works very well. I've got to click on 5, not too much on 4. 3 is kind of binding up. 2, 1, got a little click. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Find our binder. 1, 2's binding. Got some movement on the core when I set 2. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 is binding up a little bit. 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let's see. Pin 2 is binding. Now I have a big false set here. You can see that the angle went from a straight line to diagonal, so that means we're stuck on a spool. We'll get more into security pins down the road, but we're going to need to now probe each pin for one that's going to give counter rotation. You'll see the tension wrench move backwards. 1's okay, 2's okay, 3's okay, 4's okay, 5. Look at my finger, see it's moving back. So I'm going to push kind of against it, but let it go back. We're going to try to set it. We may have just got it, but I may have dropped something. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, now we're back in the false set here. So often when you try to set a spool, you may drop a pin back down. Well, let's see if it's still 5. Counter. Alright, and we got the lock open. So, when you're learning to rapidly open locks, you always want to try to rake or bump it open first. But just make sure that the lock is operable by probing each pin, making sure that they are moving up and down, and that the plug will turn. When you're trying to rapidly open locks, do not always go straight to single pin picking. Raking can be your best friend to get these locks open very quickly, and the same goes for lock bumping. After that, just go through each technique as you go. When I try to get these locks open, I hardly ever start off with single pin picking because time is of the essence and you just want to get the lock open. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, please subscribe. As always, thank you so much for checking this out, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.